Thank you so much. Beautiful Joy. There was this gentleman, I want to believe it's a gentleman that was just saying, oh, all we can see is a beautiful lady in front of us this morning. And I really, really hope that he's going to leave here with more than looking at Joy's face and listening to the fantastic speakers. Thank you all so much. It gives me great pleasure to be joining you this morning. I see amazing people just coming in and letting us know that they are here for a fantastic time. How do I begin this? Very simple. Communication is close to my heart. I personally have spent the first few years of my career in communications, corporate communications. And even before I joined the organization, I had a brief stint in marketing. And so my journey has really been around just helping to package, sell, push forward services or product and communicating the brand, the vision of the organization. But today, it's even on a bigger pedestal where we are talking about Africa and why we need to be shaping stories. But it must begin with three power levels that I have identified to share with you all today. I know that you have, this amazing lineup of speakers who will do amazing justice to each of the portions they're going to speak to or the piece they are speaking to. But I just want to set an overarching context. But before I even delve into the three levels of powers that I wanted to share with you, I wanted to give an opportunity to know more about the organization. Just as recent as 2 days ago, Leap Africa 2022. And for us as an organization, a local nonprofit, indigenous nonprofit, it's a big milestone for us because 20 years felt like yesterday that we're celebrating this momentous anniversary of ours. But 2 years later, and even counting, we are still here thriving. And it speaks a lot about the organization's, growth, investment, plans, and aspirations. But I must first, unpack why we are and why we do what we do. 20 years ago or 22 years ago, our founder, Ndidi Wuneli, had an idea, a vision for Africa where the resources of the continent will be in the hands of young people, and they will be the drivers of the change that they desire for the continent. And this is us, fueling that vision many years later with a Pan-African vision that is really serving young people. Our focus is on youth leadership development, and we have chosen to really situate our work in 5 priority areas, which Joy has also alluded to, which will be youth education, entrepreneurship, employability, active citizenship, and of course, mental health and well-being. The last pillar is the latest addition to our work, where it's begun to dawn on us that we need the right space, an environment to nurture talent, to nurture human capital development, really in the full sense of it. And we cannot do that in isolation of what's going on around us, without considering economic pressures. And when we think about these 5 pillars, we feel these are the biggest areas in which we can achieve the highest level of social mobility for young people, enable transition, and allow us to really ignite and catalyze change in young leaders in Africa. And we do know that anyone can lead, which is why our intervention really starts for young people from the ages of 14 to 35. And because we have a very wide demography of young people that we are catering to or we are serving, it's important for us to recognize the stage in which our intervention serves the best. And so this is me just trying to paint a picture of why our work continues to drive our passion and fuel how far we work. Right now, we have opportunity to work with partners all over the world, but our constituents and really those we are serving are in Africa, and we've been able to touch the lives of millions in over 30 countries, and I believe 40 countries now. But moving away from that passion of why LEAP continues to serve young people and why it's committed to youth leadership development, so the matter of the day, which is really to usher us into why we are looking at influence, the power of storytelling and storytelling in Africa development, really. And the first power of storytelling is understanding that you need to connect with those that you're talking to. And we connect with people for a number of reasons, trying to make a logical argument, to trying to exert authority, or trying to even appeal to anyone's emotion. There are many reasons with which we communicate, or we try to tell our stories, or we try to convince or sell or
make an impression. I think impression is a good word to use today. And when we think about that, we need to begin to understand what needs to happen for that process to take place. The second power of storytelling that I'm going to share, of course, is the power of shaping the narrative and shifting perspectives. I think this for me is the crux of the matter when we are really thinking about how to bring attention to social issues and injustices, mobilizing people to take action and advocating for change. I did say that some of the things that we do allows us to work and serve young people, but a big component of that is really advocating for young people, and advocating for those that are responsible for decisions that affect young people essentially. And you need to be able to bring people on your side if you really want them to shift their perspective or change their thinking or create a movement or anything you're thinking of like that. For an organization such as ours, we have found, and it's still something we are working on, that we don't tell our stories enough. The stories of change, the stories of behavioral competencies or shift that are happening, the stories of impact, short-term to long-term, the stories of influence, the stories that really drive us to get up every morning and work. We as an organization still struggle and strive to get this right. And it's something that is going to serve us all with the power of the panel that we have today to be able to really look at those tools and kits that they will share with us to understand how we can continue to tell the right stories, to shift perspectives, to mobilize resources, to market our brand in order to get whatever it is we want from the development space. When I think about the development space in that sense, I'm really talking about the resources are limited. And for it to go around, you must be telling a very compelling story that allows you to get a share of the people working with you or the people that will choose to be on that journey with you. And of course, the power of influence. There is a reason we do the work we do. For us at Leap Africa, we have a tripartite, no, actually a quadruple bottom line. And one of that is going to be influence. It's not enough that we get up day by day and we do all these activities that allows us to, make a dent when we think about the impact that we want to see in Africa and Nigeria. But we believe that the power of influence is where you're wielding one person to influence another person, or one person that is influencing a community through community change projects, through campaigns, through several activities and engagement at multi-level stakeholders that you can think of. For us, we believe that influence is far greater than the other things combined in this situation. And for Africa, many people tell our stories. I remember that when we had the Sorosoke movement during the NSAS, there was a book that was published and several articles that were led by non-Africans. Why is it that Africans will tell our stories? Why is it that non-Africans will document our impact? Why is it that non-Africans will lead campaigns that will benefit us and serve us? This is why it's important that we begin to look at storytelling for Africa's development. Begin to consider more opportunities for Africans to be able to share from their own perspective, their own lived realities, their own experiences. And that's why, I think today's theme is well situated for us to begin to walk that talk. And with that, I've come to the end of my welcome remarks. I'm really hoping that you have an amazing time with all the panel who have come to share their nuggets of experiences with us today. And Leap Africa will also be taking notes to ensure that we are practicing so many of the gems that they'll be dropping today. Thank you also very much for joining us. I'll see you afterwards. Bye for now.